Alright, so, you know Captain Cold,
Yeah.
right? His full name is Leonard Snart, but they always call him Lenny. Like, that pisses me off. They should just call him Leonard.
Well, they could just call him Leo, dude.
You mean like Geodude? Hello, Geek fans! I'm Joey Lacasse, and this is Jacob Desitels, and we're here to talk about Season 2, Episode 4 of The Flash. Now, this was a pretty good episode. I was excited for it. I don't watch any of the previews, and Jacob kind of spoiled it for me, but he didn't spoil it in the way that I thought he would. So, we're going to start talking about the episode. Episode opens. Pretty sure they talk about Stein and how he collapsed at the end of last episode. Then they go into a flashback of the particle accelerator explosion, showing a football awesome high school kid who the team calls Jax, whose name is Jefferson Jackson. Jefferson Jackson.
Yeah.
So they call him Jax for short. And it goes through, and then, they win the big game, he's awesome, and then particle accelerator goes boom, everybody's running off the field, and he's like, I gotta get in there after him. We gotta get into the hall so that the accelerator won't hit us. And he's running, and then, the accelerator's coming, and he's standing in the doorway, he's like, I better close these doors. I don't know why he decided to close the doors. But, so he got hit with the wave. So, he was affected.
How many ever months later, it's not now in the present. Then we pick up at where episode 3 left off with Martin Stein, going crazy when his blue fire. And then they figure out they need to find a new match for him.
Because his heart is going to blow up with heat.
If they don't get another person.
Yeah, his temperature keeps spiking up.
Yeah,
so they need someone to fuse with him to calm him down, because that's what him and Ronnie did. That's why they were together for so long and nothing happened. So all that stuff.
So then basically they get 2 matches, and then the episode.
One was this really cool science dude.
Who was actually not really cool.
Who was kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Spoiler alert.
And then the other one.
And the other one was the high school kid.
Yeah.
And Caitlin's like, no, let's go for the other one. He's so much better. Everything. But Barry was like, well, the other kid is kind of more of a match. That would be better if it worked. And Caitlin's like, no. And I'm like, that's racist, just because he's black.
They're both black.
Yeah, they were both black. That's why it's a joke, Jacob.
But
racism is not dead, but we do not support racism. Good job, Barry.
Let's get on to, I guess, the positives of the episode now.
Positives.
What did you like the most about the episode?
Let me think about this. Well, the end with the giant shark dude was kind of confusing. I was not expecting that.
I wasn't expecting it, but I liked it.
I know, because at the beginning of the episode, P. Stimmons?
Yeah.
P. Stimmons goes up to Joe and she's like, hey, there's kind of this, shark person walking around and hitting people.
And then And I actually know who that was. That was a character called King Shark, who was a giant shark dude.
Does that give his power away?
But then I didn't think they were actually going to put him in the episode. That was
I know.
That was just a reference.
And, she gave the teeth to Barry to do something. He's like, it's not human. Or did he say it was human?
I don't remember what
it was. Human, whatever. Particle accelerator, all that jazz. And end of the episode, Barry's running and he stops, and then a giant shark with legs and arms just grabs him. He's like, Zoom wants you dead. And I'm like, what?
But that was so awesome, though, because they didn't just, throw him in there. They made it so that he was another guy.
There was a reason he was there, not just that he was there. So that's good.
Then we won't say exactly what happened next. We're going to leave that for the end. But what else did you like about the episode?
Well, it's a good thing. First of all, it's a good thing that we're not going to talk about what happened next, because I don't remember what happened next.
But we were talking before we started recording about this is one of my positives, was the continuing from last week, the whole interaction with
the Mama
Iris, Joe, and her mom.
Mama Iris.
Iris finally gets to meet her mom, and that was actually it was another really good human interaction that they had.
Let me be real quick with this. Iris was, it was fair. because of the situation, but she was kind of a bitch to her mom.
I agree.
I kind of respect that just because of the whole situation of it.
Yeah, I thought that was an appropriate way. Like it was a way a real person would react. I thought
because she's not just like, oh my god, mom, you're back. You're not dead. She's like, you ditched me when I was 2.
And they're not like doing what they do with like Arrow, where they have like really uncohesive like people like go back and forth just like every episode with their emotions. And this they're keeping it kind of they're letting
continuous.
They're letting the characters evolve, organically.
Not many continuity errors there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, I really like the Iris thing. Another thing, I liked what they did with Firestorm. I thought that was really cool. Where they had because in the comics, there's multiple different Firestorm. And the Jax. I don't know if Jax and Martin Stein is one of them, but they were both Firestorm at one point. So it was cool that they're moving on from Ronnie. But we know he's coming. He's coming back.
He's on the other side. Like, why do you think Stein started acting up? Because he was so close to Ronnie, but he wasn't fusing with him and stuff.
Yeah.
And when they were looking for the Stein Part 2, the other half of Stein, the new one, they brought the first guy in, but it wasn't a match, but it activated his powers, and he got pissed off and he left. And they're like, we gotta find somebody else. And the spoiler that this guy gave me, that I thought was a spoiler, was he said there was a new 2.0, like Ronnie 2.0 is Jax. So I said, well, is it Caitlyn 2.0? Because he sent me a picture of Killer Frost last week. And he's like, well, that's not it, but there's something else. I'm like, oh, then she becomes Killer Frost in this episode. So when they were looking for something, they're like, oh man, it didn't work with him, we gotta find somebody else. And I'm like, everybody was affected by the particle accelerator. What if Caitlyn was affected in exactly the same way? And she was able to match Stein. And that's what activated her powers. Because her body was, stronger than Stein, so they took over her body, and then she got the ice stuff. I thought that was going to happen.
I have some speculations about her becoming Killer Frost. I think if she may have not even been hit with a particle accelerator in this universe, but what if she's Killer Frost on Earth too? So
that works. Yeah.
But noticeably absent from this episode was Jay. Where was Jay Garrick in this episode? He was just off. He didn't
go back.
No, he didn't go back.
He didn't go back.
Yeah,
where was he?
It was just a day off for the actor, I guess. He was just off somewhere. Maybe he was in Star City.
Huh.
Not wanting. I don't know.
Maybe he went on a road trip.
Yeah, he wanted to feel fast again.
Yeah. So he got the fastest car that you ever did see. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the beginning of the episode, because it opens, and it shows the flashback of the football kid, and I'm like, football, got some athletics. Okay, I'm like, I know, because you had told me before, I knew that Wally West was getting introduced in this season. In this season?
Yeah.
In this season. And I'm like, but Wally West isn't just going to be some dopey redhead white kid. Because Wally's West, which FYI to all the people that aren't super, up to date with the Justice League stuff, Wally West is Kid Flash.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he's not going to be that. I'm like, Wally West is related to Iris West.
Yeah. And in the comics, he's her nephew.
Yeah. But she doesn't have any siblings.
Yeah.
So, we're going to get back to that after. So I'm like, what if this is Wally West? Because we know he's black, because Iris is black. So I'm like, this is going to be good. This is going to be a good episode. But then it wasn't. And I'm like, oh no. But then we get to the end of the episode where Iris is talking with her mom and she's like, I don't want you to be in my life. I talked to Dad. All that stuff. And you said you were dying, and then I was going to believe it. I was going to let you back in my life. She's like, but then I found other lies. Because Iris did some digging. And what she found was that 8 months after her mom left Central City, she gave birth to another kid.
Oh, shit.
Oh, snap. So, Iris has a little brother. And she was saying how she didn't want her mom back in the city if she did have a little sibling, because her her dad wouldn't be able to deal with all that of having a kid all these years and not knowing about it, you know?
Yeah.
And that makes sense. But, so she's like, just tell me, blah, blah, blah. And it kind of cut off. I don't really think they resolved it.
Yeah.
So, but, what if, this is the theory that I came up with, what if Iris's little brother is named Wally, and that's how Wally West gets introduced?
I think that's gonna be it. I think that's definitely their plan.
That's gonna be cool.
Either that, or he's from the future and he's Iris's brother's kid, so he's actually his nephew. But I don't think that's. I think they're doing.
Oh yeah. Well, do we know that it's a brother?
Yeah. They said that. They said it's her brother. We don't know if it's Joe's kid or not.
Well, I mean, she left 8 months, or she gave birth 8 months after she left, so the timeline would assume that it was Joe's, unless she was super cheating on him, and then she wouldn't. I don't think she would have really come back in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, because they wouldn't be able to forgive her about that.
And also, his name's West, and so I think that kind of says that
The left side of the map.
Yeah. So I think Wally West is probably going to be introduced like near the end or halfway. They're just like setting it up now, and then later in the season.
I'm excited for Wally West showing up.
Yeah.
I love Wally West.
Yeah.
You know, because he finds out about Barry, which I'm not really sure how that's going to work, because Joe didn't want to tell Iris about it at all.
Yeah.
So what's his... Oh, this new kid? Oh, yeah, you can know. Woo! Man! I had to take my sweatshirt off screen for you guys, so you guys didn't have to see all that, because, man, it is hot in here.
Yeah, like Firestorm.
Yeah. Well, we have reached the end of the episode of the review of Flash Season 2, Episode 4. So, I am Joey Lacasse.
Jacob Does It Tells.
And we will see you next week.